We lost David Carr last week. His funeral was today. Last week I actually sent David an email and the subject line was favor. And because this is what David Carr does, he said, sure, I'll help you out with your favor. And this is something that everyone who's worked with David over time, and whether or not they've worked with him or just known him, knows he's an incredibly generous guy, was an incredibly generous guy. By the way, the favor that I was asking David last week was I wanted him to give me some good questions to ask our next guest, who was his boss. And that's Mark Thompson from the New York Times. So let's bring him out here. Maybe you guys can ask some questions afterwards. Mark, thanks for joining us.
I saw David Carr for an hour, less than a fortnight ago. And, you know, being interviewed, I mean, it was a briefing on our results and what we're up to. And I don't know, with David, you know, with you guys, you know, inside your head, you're thinking, I'll get away with this. It'll be, you know, I can hide stuff. I can. With David, you just spilt the beans. And yet he figured out, I mean, I've been in journalism 30 years. I've never met anyone like him. He'd figured out a way of being a completely focused, brilliant, objective, great reporter, always personally reporting what he did, without being ugly and mean. Most of us journalists think there's got to be an edge to it. And with David, it was like the incisiveness without the edge. And the other thing, obvious point to make inside that building is, no one knew better than David about the separation, the need for the separation between the journalism and the business. But he managed to figure out a way of navigating that, and he was loved. I mean, loved in the ad department, in the subscription department, the comms people, the people who handle pesky journalists. I was there
Sure.
when you phoned up and talked to Eileen Murphy the night he died. She was absolutely devastated. You said you were devastated. The comms people who often had to deal with David on tricky stories loved him and were devastated. Unique. I mean, we have many great journalists. There will be great media columnists in the future. Irreplaceable voice.